Good evening, everybody. Match 5 of the 1995 Cricket World Cup was played in Peshawar today. It was the Group 1 match between Kenya and Holland. The battle of the associate members. The pitch in Peshawar. The pitches in Pakistan have been surprisingly quite slow so far in this tournament. But this pitch was very dry and dusty. There were some cracks on the pitch. It was 37 degrees in Peshawar. And the Kenyan captain, Obumbe, won the toss and elected to bat first. The Dutch captain said it may turn, it may get worse as the game progresses, but on hard pitches with a dry and got cracks in, sometimes they can last throughout the entire day. And this was the outcome of what turned out to be a very entertaining match. As you can see, Kenya producing a very good batting performance in the end. It didn't look like it in the first place. The pitch was very difficult to bat on him very early on. As you can see, there's batsmen which got out. There was ducks for the captain, Obumbe, and Chudasan was out first ball. Disastrous start, 55 for 3. They were in a little bit of trouble. A nice little partnership with 68 runs between Hitesh Modi and Steve Tickolo. Tickolo was dropped twice. He really lived a chance knife, and then he padded up and it hit the little front leg of the pad and went onto the stumps. Out for 46. Kennedy Otieno hit 29. There was a duck for David Tickolo, but then a brilliant partnership, the partnership of the match of 91 between Edward Obumbe and Hitesh Modi. Edward Odumbe's 50, got 54, 66 deliveries, and what turned out to be, well, you'll see his bowling in a moment. Hitesh Modi ended at 82 not out for 109 balls, a brilliant innings. He was the only one that really, him and Edward Obumbe were the only two that got used to it. Lemek Odiango hit 20 off 21 deliveries, and Martin Suji 2 not out of 6 towards the enders. Kenya hit 254 for 7, which was the sort of score which Morris Obumbe was looking for. 1 for 31 for Phil Cantrell. A bit surprisingly, he came on the bowl in the 40th over and bowled 5 overs. Tim Delada 2 for 34. Stephen Lubbers 0 for 46. Roland Lefebvre 2 for 40. 1 for 45 for Fabian Aponzo. Ruud van Oosterom didn't actually bowl at all during this innings. He only bowled 2 overs, I think, for 4 runs. In fact, he only bowled 1 over, surprisingly, and 1 for 44 for Jan-Paul Bakker. The Holland fast bowlers, Roland Lefebvre and Jan-Paul Bakker, bowled very well and very neatly to start off with. But Kenya got used to the conditions and they batted the full 50 over for 254 for 7. Holland, well, there's the difference really. Nolan Clark went for 11 ball duck and no one really went on to get a competitive score, but they kept up with the rate throughout. And even going into the final 10 overs, they only needed 65 with 5 wickets in hand. But Martin Suji and that man, Edward Obumbe, only conceded 22 runs off the final 10 overs in a wonderful display. In fact, I think it was only 17 runs that they conceded off the final 10 overs in what was sensational bowling towards the end. I mean, that was the best 10 overs I think I've seen under pressure. And in the end, they got Holland that only scored 216 for 950 overs. As stated, Nolan Clark, a duck. Peter Cantrell, 41 of 71 deliveries. It ridiculous run out towards the end, going for a second leg bye. There's never it on. Abonzo hit 37, promoted up to number 3. Usually bats slower down the order. He hit 37, but he came off 70 deliveries. Tim Delada tried to up it, 42 of 58 deliveries. Klaas van Noordwijk hit 32 of 48 deliveries. Stephen Lubbers for captain, out for 10. Roland Lefebvre, 12. 3 for Baz Sunderland, 6 for Marcia Schwerer. Ruud van Oosterom, 0. And Jan-Paul Bakker hit the final ball for 4. 216 for 9. But look at Edward Obumbe, 54 of 66 deliveries. 5 for 29 of 10 overs. The first 5 wicket all the World Cup. He's the leading wicket taker as well in what was comfortably a man of match performance. 1 for 29 for Morris Obumbe. A 0 for 23 for David Ticolo. 0 for 25 for Lemico Longo. Look at those figures though for Martin Sudji. 1 for 15 off 10 overs. Superb bowling figures. 1 for 45. Asif Karim was a bit expensive. And let's give credit to Rajib Ali. He didn't take a wicket, but his 9 overs only went for 36 runs. The fast bowlers doing a wonderful job for Kenya today. So the final summary: Kenya versus Holland at Peshawar. Kenya won the toss on a dry, dusty pitch and elected to bat first. They struggled off differently, but they ended up 254 for 7 from their 50 overs. 82 of 109 deliveries from Mitesh Modi, absolutely brilliant. 54 for Edward Obumbe of 66 balls. Holland, well, they lost wickets at key moments, but they needed 65. They needed they were 199 for 5. They needed 55. Was it 55? 199, 249. They needed 55 runs off the final 10 overs. They only scored 17 off the final 10 overs. 216 for 9 from their 50 overs, Holland. Edward Obumbe competing a wonderful all-round match. 5 for 29. Kenya winning by 38 runs. And Edward Obumbe, man of the match for 54 of 66 balls and his 5 for 29. He equalled, but he's the second player to get a 50 and take a 5-wicket haul in the tournament after Imran Khan of Pakistan. Imran Khan presented him with a man of the match award and joked, saying it was good that you ended up on the winning side. Imran Khan's obviously got 5 wickets and a 50 against Sri Lanka in that incredible match in Kandy, in which Pakistan lost in 1979. Pretty entertaining match in the end between the two associate teams. Kenya off the mark. Their first win in a World Cup for 8 years. Their second in the table on net run rate. A brilliant performance from them. They've started off the tournament superbly. Tomorrow's match, the United Arab Emirates against the 2 times world champions, the West Indies. West Indies should have enough in the tank to win that match tomorrow. Anything else would be one of the biggest upsets ever in cricketing history. I don't think they're going to have too many problems, or shouldn't have too many problems against the United Arab Emirates tomorrow, the West Indies. They should look to win that comfortably. Obviously, there is going to be no looking at the 2 teams because obviously they're associate teams and we can't get associate members in this World Cup. Brilliant performance from Kenya. I mean, that bowling performance in the final 10 overs under a little bit of pressure was absolutely fantastic. They gave themselves every hope. It was a fantastic game of cricket. A wonderful, entertaining game and a great start to the World Cup for Kenya. Holland have got Australia in about 5 days' time and Kenya, 3 days' time until Holland play Australia and 5 days until Kenya play their next match against England. Tomorrow's match, United Arab Emirates versus West Indies. West Indies about quoted as 20-1 to win the World Cup this time. They're certainly not anywhere near the favourites to win this tournament this time, but they should have enough to beat the UAE tomorrow and get their World Cup off to a winning start. Join us for tomorrow's match. This is me, Lawrence Howard, reporting on the 1995 Cricket World Cup being played on Brian Lara Cricket and PlayStation here in Pakistan. And Kenya have beaten the Dutch by 38 runs. Their first win in the Cricket World Cup since 1983. Until tomorrow's match, it's bye-bye from me.